Hello, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Today is the 24th of November 2022. Let's start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, and make some predictions for Friday's stub session. This is my trading plan for Friday, November 25, 2022. Please remember I can be wrong. Any trade you make should be made at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early low, which is this. Tends to be a rally day with a high in the final hour. That's what we got. And Friday we're looking for a pattern with the early high. This is just a review of what we said. We said if we didn't gap up, any gains should be retraced. It actually happened intraday. We broke over this line, then we retraced to it. But even though we did it intraday, I don't think that's a sustainable break, because even though it happened intraday, it should happen on a close of day basis as well. So even though we don't have to drop Friday, I think we're still going to retrace to this line at some time, probably in the not too distant future. MEJT said this drop wouldn't stick, so this rally wouldn't stick. Those have retraced. Said we go higher here in the afternoon, and that certainly has played out. We have a day-long rally, couldn't close over midday highs in the pattern which usually does. If it's maintained at Friday's open, we should see lower prices even if we don't close lower. Of course, if you gap and overtake this high promptly, the idea is killed. We still haven't killed this wave count. Doesn't mean it's the right count. We now have an inverted diamond on stilts pattern. Here's your stilt, here's your stilt, here's your diamond. At and just over the origin of the left stilt is resistance. So we are running into resistance here. We also have a requirement to retrace to that trend line. So these are all arguments for lower prices on Friday. Now, of course, resistance doesn't have to hold. I mean, you can take this out. And if we gap and take this out early, I think the idea is killed. That's something I can't predict. But for right now, as of Friday's close, as of Wednesday's close, if it's maintained, we're stalling at resistance and couldn't manage your usual pattern. We still have a diamond on stilts here. It doesn't have to go to completion, but you can still count this. There's still a wave count which has ascending here. This is certainly the wrong time to look for a top. You don't get these tops around Thanksgiving, but I mean that's the count. Doesn't mean it's the right count. And we still haven't killed this one either. I'm a little bit leery of this advance we had. It just didn't accomplish what it normally accomplishes. Normally you're going to clear these highs at the close. Now, of course, time's not up. We take this out early, all is right with the world. But if we can't, particularly with the requirement to have a retrace at some time, wouldn't surprise me if we pull back. Doesn't mean the whole rally's over. Friday's pattern has a really high. We could get down. Typically it's a rally day with a high in the final hour. Failure is a straight line drop. Because trading will close early, it's possible neither of these scenarios will occur. Days around Thanksgiving are typically bullish days. Are not the time to look for market tops, but that doesn't mean we close positive every single time. There's strong resistance at Wednesday's high from the inverted diamond on stilts. We also have a requirement to retrace to a broken trend line. A day-long rally couldn't close over early highs. So if this is maintained at Friday's open, I think we see lower prices. Doesn't require a lower close, but I think it would become more likely than not. Promptly overtaking Wednesday's high by a significant amount kills the pattern. I mean, if we go 1 cent past it, I don't care. But a retrace would still be required at some time. So we're at resistance. We haven't broken it. Time runs out early Friday. Either you break through resistance or we trade down. It's the pattern with the early high. Doesn't mean you won't gap down. And that's today's call.